All right, so, ooh, sorry. Ooh. So that's some little hanging off the back there. Okay, so my long johns are, every pair of long johns I have is worn out, so I gotta do something about it. If I have to run up like long johns on my credit card, I will do it. Because I hate walking with my long johns, and I still don't know how this is physically possible. You got pants on, and your long johns fall down your knees while you still got pants on. How is that even freaking possible? And how annoying that actually is. So I'm heading back there now. Yesterday when I was heading back, it wasn't anywhere near as cold as it was today, but just that little bit of breeze on my forehead and on my neck was so painful. It's like, it's the equivalent to water torture. It really is. It's that cold. And again, guys, we're only like the 4th or 5th of December. Like, normally we don't get this till about late December, early January. Like, we don't. So it's coming early this year. I think we're gonna have a long, like a winter, like a long winter. Because I know a lot of times when it gets really cold, you don't get a lot of snow, right? Speed up, slow down. Do you know where he's going? I don't think this guy knows where he's going. What the hell is this guy doing? He stops and reverses, and then he takes off. What the heck is he? What's he smoking? Anyway, I'm heading back to the house now. Yeah, so I was asked my brother, how'd you get in there? I said, I thought you drove in there. I was like, holy jeez, how'd you not get stuck? He didn't drive in there, obviously, but he said, oh, he goes, I saw it. I just jumped out. Could have told me last night. I would have brought it up. It's the Bell internet router that you get for like the what do you call it? It's the 5G one, right? So I know 5G, we're all gonna die. But anyway, that stuff's not good for you anyway. But anyways, we're just sitting there on the floor in the kitchen there. You guys probably seen some of the video, just sitting there. And I didn't know what to do with it. Obviously, I didn't want to throw it out because, well, you know, either maybe I'd use it in the future or whatever. I didn't know how it worked with that if you send it back. There's a lot of time with internet companies, you get the router, but you never send it back. And he has to send it back, so I'm like, okay. I guess he's off to the post office there now. So you see the sun up in the nice gray sky. So eventually I'll get internet and do live chats and all that stuff down at the house. That's a ways away yet. Again, finances, right? Like, I am working class poor like most people, and we have a lot of really bad stuff economically coming at us, right? Some people realize it, a lot of people don't, most people don't, because like everything functions till it doesn't, right? And with a lot of people, it's just like, well, I'm fine right at this very moment, therefore there's nothing to worry about, no point in preparing for the doom, right? But yeah, economically, like the indicators around the world is like, guys, it's happening. It's just, what does it look like in 6 months from now? Well, what did it look like 6 months before this video, right? Well, gold was in the 3000s. You know, now silver's like breaking $60. I think that's all-time highs. I remember back in the early 2000s, gold spiked from, it was like $80 to like 120 to 180 bucks, and it was just like on the rocket ship up, and then it hovered somewhere around 240, right? That was just, what that's telling you is the chickens are coming home to roost when you see spike jumps like that, right? And I wish I would have bought 10 ounces of gold back then, because they'd all be worth $4,100 now. But the worst thing is, I hate the fact that gold's at $4,100, because the reality check is, even though the gold standard is no more, and the reason why is modern monetary theory, right? The idea is that I'm gonna go take a quick sweep by this tree here. Climb. See all that wood I'm gonna get? A whole bunch of piles of wood. Gotta make sure that the beaver hasn't been by today. But yeah, so that's all the money printing coming. That's what happens when you print money. Yeah, they ain't gonna be coming up that for a while. So, oh yeah, beaver baton over there. All right, some more wood here for me. Some more wood over there for me. I'll take it in the spring. Mine's supposed to pay me sometime. Cage is there. It'll do. It will do. Mind you, if I am going to trap any beavers, I might as well wait till like middle of January. Yes, it's a pain in the butt, but you get the best pelts, right? My trapping license, my client, my main client, she was like, she knew I went out and I bought the trapping license, right? And I jumped the gun and bought it. I should have waited till everything was a real done deal, right? Because it's just 40 bucks I don't have, right? And anyway, she's like, well, she goes, well, here, let me pay for your the license, because the other guy, you know, I already told the story, but basically he got in trouble with the tenant association because they already had a guy. But rather than him doing the decent thing and call me and say, hey Reg, sorry, but I can't use you because we already got another guy. And apparently that guy's already caught 4 beavers. What I think he was trying to do was just get ahead of the system. Kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to wait for the other guy, so I'll get and I'm speculating here, but here's what I think happened is he probably thought he can get another guy to do it before the season, right? Which by law, if you have a nuisance vermin, you can dispatch them. You can use your traps by law to catch them. Now, here's the catch, pardon the pun, but you have to prove to a game laws officer, which you are guilty before. It's not like any other legal system. It's like basically with the game laws, you're guilty until proven innocent, not the other way around. So you have to prove to that guy that you were catching these beavers because they were nuisance beavers, which I would have been able to prove, but that could have been it'd be a fiasco. You have to show up at the regie and stuff like that, and plead your case to the court and say, hey, look, no, this guy hired me to get rid of his problem beavers and whatever. And if they want to find a loophole to get you, they can. So if you cross your T's and you dot your I's, you say, hey, no, the season starts on the 18th and I can't trap before that, even though technically I can. I don't like gray areas when it comes to stuff like this because of the penalties of catching a beaver. Could probably cost you tens of thousands of dollars, right? Game laws officers can issue whatever ticket they want, so to speak. I mean, there is kind of a code, but like, for example, let's say you catch an illegal bass, right? Stupid bass, right? And it's out of season, or even a rock bass. And they catch you and you got like a brand new dually truck pulling a $250,000 boat. They could seize that as proceeds of crime for one little fish. So, like, I understand the heavy hammer because it's to crack down on poaching and stuff, which I'm all for. But just understand, it's a heavy hammer. It keeps the honest people honest, and it allows you to kick the shit out of the people that don't, right? So my whole goal is basically to not break those laws or be in a gray area zone where you don't know if that law has been broken or not, right? So I tell the guy, I can't show up until the 18th, until the trapping season starts, right? And he's like, okay, no problem. Okay, but then that's probably what the other guy said to him as well. And it's like one of these people that just like, well, I want it done now, so I'm going to see who's going to cheat the system, maybe. That's most likely what happened. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, or honest mistake. I had no idea that somebody else was taking care of it. Sorry, bud. But I have to go with the guy that, we agreed to with the tenant association. And had he come to me and told me that, I wouldn't have bought the license. And that would have been fine. Now, mind you, I kind of gambled a bit. I was like, well, this looks like it's going to be a pretty sure deal. So I bought it, and then the day I bought it, 3 weeks after I bought it, I tried to get a hold of him almost every day, or every other day, and he just wasn't calling back, wasn't picking up his phone, whatever. Then I found out he was in Europe for 3 weeks. Okay, could have let me know that. Maybe I'll coordinate with the other two guys, right? And then I find out that after my client, because my client saw him, talked to him, and she was kind of mad. She was like, "Well, you should have told him." Because my client, she gives me work every week all summer, right? And it affects her property too. So the thing is that boots off. Woohoo! Cold on the feet. Cold on the feet. So like I was saying before, it's like would have been nice to know. Just like, hey, just let me know that you're not going to need me, and I won't buy the license and waste that money. So I bought the license, and this was the point of the story. Is my client felt bad about it. She insisted that she pay for the license, so I told her, okay, just $20, because it's not her fault, you know what I mean? The other guy could have been a little bit more honest, and that's why you don't do things out of season. That's why you follow, right? So at least that way, if someone's willing to do that to you, they're willing to, say, okay, well, and maybe this is just where my conspiracy mind goes, but it's like, well, here's how we get out of paying the guy. Well, after he catches an XYZ amount of beaver, we'll call the game wardens on him and give him a whole bunch of trouble, and then, not, say, okay, well, here, you're not getting paid because you did it illegally, right? So, when you're doing stuff without actual physical contracts, this is the stuff you have to consider, right? So, say, oh, well, no, the guy was just trespassing on us. My word against his. And because you're guilty until proven innocent, you will lose that bet. All right, so it was like minus 30 last night. That can't be right. Oh, dear God. 17 degrees, that's fine, but the humidity? 29. I turned the heat on here last night. Look at that. It was 42 last night. So just turning on those extra. Wow. I turned this one on and that one on. Maybe I better keep those off. Or my violins are gonna fall apart. The heat's still at the same spot, so yeah, it's still at 15. So the good news is that's what it's telling me is that the house is evenly heated up, and I don't have to put the heat in minus 20. I don't have to put the heat higher than 15 in here, so that's good. All right, anyway, I'm gonna enjoy my chocolate bar. Whoop. Hey, much better. I'm gonna enjoy my chocolate bar, and then I'm gonna make a long video, and then we're gonna play the drums today, And then we're going to do a little bit more cleaning up, get some of my tools out onto the deck, clean up in here a bit more, maybe do some sweeping. It is Friday, so I'm going to little more than halfway through. Little more than halfway through. So this book is pretty big. Yeah, so I'd love to see if I can get a 2-hour reading session in today for the Fridays. I've been trying to do more on the Fridays, whatever, if I'm not working or whatever. I did about an hour yesterday, just to make a dent in it, because I want to finish this book so I could start another book pretty soon. Tomorrow I'm going to go look at more books, and if I don't want to pick up too many books, but at the thrift shop. But I know there's books there. I mean, they could all be like romance books, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to take any of those. But before I go out and buy books, I'd rather see if I can find something that's interesting and whatever. I am picking out a list of books, but the more I research the book I want to get without getting any spoilers, I find out, okay, well, no, this is not a book for me, right? So it takes it off the list. But there's a couple that are on the list. One that looks really, really good. Comes highly recommended by both men and women. Because usually if a guy's going to recommend it, it can't be a girly porn, right? Unless there's the guy's whatever. But what I'm getting at is that the book that's recommended is really, really... some at like 20 book recommendations, 10 men, 10 female. This book came up so many times, about 18 times, and almost everybody gave it a rating review, and a few people, it was their favorite book they ever read, right? So I'm like, okay, well, that's there's good odds that it's probably a safe pick and whatever. But to get the book, it's still in print, but it's like, it's a couple of years old, so it's not as easy to find, right? And then there's a couple other ones that looked really cool. 3 in particular. And then for classics, everybody, well, just go with the classics. Well, the only classic I'm really going to go with is 3. And the number 1 is Moby Dick. I have to have that book. The number 2 is going to be The Stand by Stephen King. And number 3 is going to be It, if I can find it. But if I don't find it for cheap or free, I'm not going to worry about it. But they're very popular books, so there's a good chance you could probably find them fairly easy. So Stephen King books are usually fairly easy to find, right? I don't really want too many Stephen King books. That was my sister's favorite author for the longest time. I don't know if he still is. This guy puts out like books like crazy. I don't know how many books this man has written, but I know he's a bit of a strange character himself. Well, he's definitely got the imagination of a strange person for sure. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't want to just buy books for the sake of buying books and, wasting my money on things that A, I don't get to read, or B, I'm, make a bad purchase where it's just like, okay, I've now got a book that I really, really don't like, like some of the most popular books out there, like say like The Fourth Wing, guys are probably not, non-feminist guys are probably not going to like these books. I'm more of a traditionalist, so these type of books are not going to appeal to me. But Red Rising, everybody, male and female, gives it a really good reigning endorsement. Again, like you don't know who's, like everybody has different likes. So it's like Red Rising, I'd like to get that series, but the problem is it's a series, right? I'd rather have standalone books for now. So let's say I read 5 to 12 books in 2026. That'd be okay. That'd be okay. Like again, it's different if you're independently wealthy or you have a lot of free time on your hand. But I just want something as leisure rather than, watching movies or spending more time on the internet. I'd rather divert that to reading. But especially down here, there's going to be a lot of very interesting things coming up, again, as I can, I got the studio sort of going. Yeah, it doesn't look like much of a studio, but it's a thing, it's a thing. And all of that kind of stuff, like, as it rolls out, once I get these tools out of here and, sort of situated on the, and they find their place on the veranda. It's just managing in here, and then there's going to be a bunch of boxes of stuff going for donation to the thrift shop. If they can make a little bit of money on it, fine. So for every one thing I buy, I'm probably going to get rid of about 3, 4, 5 things, right? The idea is to declutter my life as much as possible, and the fact that I've pretty much ran out of stuff to go into the recycling is great. That means I can pull my recycling bin up to my dad's place, and we could start clearing out the garage there. And there's a couple of things in the basement, and then I'm just going to bring it up there and just going to open it up. Let's fill it, and then I'll take it down. Right? I'll bring it back here, whatever. Get rid of it. Do that every 2 weeks. That's fine. And then the garbage, that's probably going to take till the summer to get rid of all that garbage. But after the garbage is gone, then it's just the scrap metal. Once the scrap metal's gone, the property's going to be pretty clean. You know what I mean? And not just the house, but the property. And then it's just maintain everything. Anyway, yeah, there we go.